talk here on the show, don't we, about broadcasting and broadcasting legends and how people in today's digital media platform really don't know how easy they have it, including myself. You know, we pitch up, we put our camera up, and then off we go. We make a broadcast. Now, this particular house behind me here really was one of the very first big broadcasting legends. You know, we're not talking on camera or behind the microphone, but a man that really shaped what we now know to be the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation. We're talking about Lord Reith. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here. Nice to see you. I hope you're well, whatever you're doing today. Do keep safe and well. As I say, you know, you just wander around this beautiful city of ours and find that people lived there, people that shaped history. Incredible to think, because this is a stone's throw away from the Houses of Parliament and literally 10 Downing Street. Now, Lord Reith, or Lord John Reith as he was known, was a bit of a stickler, you know, a bit of a tyrant, shall we say, of the BBC. But he admitted in his autobiography that when he got the job, he'd no broadcasting experience at all. He literally found the ad in the Morning Star, applied for it, and seemingly got the job. His big break really, though, came when he invited the then Prime Minister, Stanley Baldwin, to broadcast from here, his house. That's right. And that became a big success. I suppose the most pivotal moment in Lord Reith's reign, shall we say, was not only the fact that he was very, very fierce to work for. Lots of people were quite frightened of him, and he didn't broadcast before 12:30 on a Sunday so that people would have time to go to church and compose themselves for the rest of the broadcast. And on a Sunday, no great fun initially. It was all classical music and religious content. That's how severe he was, absolutely. But it was the big broadcast by the abdicating king, that's right, Edward, that really put the seal on the map for Lord Reith. They didn't particularly get on because Lord Reith, who liked to remain impartial, didn't agree with the fact that the king was abdicating for that woman. The woman, of course, was Mrs. Simpson. But apparently he went ahead with it, and this was kind of his swan song. He decided afterwards that it wasn't necessarily the role for him anymore, as he felt he'd become obsolete. He, you know, didn't really have a say in the programming, didn't select the stars, but apparently it was that, the abdication, that he felt, well, could you really top that? He was a man that helped put it together. And apparently there's a story goes that there was a big crash during the broadcast, and the legend is that it was Lord Reith going out the door, slamming the door in disgust. His version of events is that he simply caught his foot on a chair on the way out, and that sounded like a door. Either way, it's become a story of legend. As I say, if you want to know where it all really started, the British Broadcasting Corporation, this truly was the man. And I do have a connection to this particular man myself, all thanks to my wonderful grandmother. But I'll tell you that story on another day. What I do find fascinating, as I often say here on the show, is literally these things cost nothing, and you do get to see and feel and experience exactly what it must have been like for these people living in that particular period, a stone's throw away from what we now know as historical places, but they were shaping history themselves. And if you don't know about Lord Reith and how he shaped the BBC, do check him out online. Or if you're in London, pop in here and see exactly where he lived and the ideas that he came up with that were simply shaped in this particular house. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.